Is Keyonte George the next Jamal Murray? Tyrese Maxey? Jalen Johnson? What do we got here with Keyonte George? It's next on Locked on Jazz. Bum 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 pow. Pow.
You are Locked On Jazz, your daily podcast on the Utah Jazz. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
How are you? I'm David Locke, radio voice of Utah Jazz, Jazz NBA insider. This is Locked On Jazz. Thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. I am David Locke, radio voice of Utah Jazz, Jazz NBA insider. I just said that. They've screwed up my open. I can't do it anymore. This is Locked On Jazz. It's your daily podcast trying to give you insight, expertise, geeky numbers, and hopefully making it way better to be a Jazz fan each and every day. Thank you so much for making Locked On Jazz your first listen of the day. We are free and available on all podcasting apps, as well as on YouTube. To the everydayers, you're the best. I have special things coming for you in about a week. See if you think it's special or not. New special things for everydayers. Happy Thanksgiving. Today's show, we will, we actually didn't get the graphic up correctly. I wonder why. Today's show, we will give you a little look on Keyonte's readjustment first. Points gained for the first time all year, which is our exclusive offensive metric, and the two best players in the world are just way better than everyone else. Concern table instead of the Thanksgiving table. We'll have Lauri trade ideas. How much do we miss Walker? Oh, dear God, do we miss Walker? But let's start with Keyonte George in our Ask LOJ edition. Is it time to consider adjustment to Key's ceiling or even likely projection, perhaps all-star or beyond? Do you think he can have a similar 5-year career arch to Jalen Johnson? I feel like both very spotty freshmen and sophomore years. All right. Let me say two things. I'm going to give you the negative first because I'm always a little hesitant on these things. There is a little something going on in this league that ball handlers who have the ball in their hands a lot just put up big numbers. Okay? Tyrese Maxey, Jamal Murray, these guys, just a lot of guys putting up big numbers because they bring the ball up every single time. And we saw in the last 2 nights, even with Lauri, just how hard it is if you're not a ball handler to get shots and to score, right? And so when you start to look at like who's leading this league in points per game and everything else, it's ball handlers. And the lead ball handlers, Luke and those guys and Shea, are up in the 30s in craziness in points per game. And then Keyonte is having a monster year at 22nd in the league and scoring at 23 points a game. It's great. And the guys he's around are good, but like Denny Advida is at 26 points a game, and Austin Reeves is at 28 points a game. And I think Cade Cunningham's really good. He was number 1 pick, but he's at 28, and Franz Wagner's at 23. There is Shaedon Sharpe, who's probably not great still yet, is at 22. There is still something here in this league where if you just have the ball in your hands enough, you score enough, okay? Like, I want to just kind of point that out. And so what you've got to figure out is where those points more efficient, better than everybody else's. Now, there are some real parallels to Jamal Murray and Tyrese Maxey. Jamal Murray's first year, he averages 10 points a game, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He shoots 40% from the field and 33% from 3. Not very good. His second year, he starts 80 games. He averages 17 points a game. He shoots it way better than Keyonte did at 45% and 38% from 3. 90% from the free throw line. His third year, he averages 18 points, and he's 44-37 for an effective field goal percentage of 50%. So it took Jamal Murray. He actually slipped year 2 to year 3 effective field goal percentage, but it took Jamal Murray into the 21-22 and then the bubble season, or excuse me, the 19-20, his 21-year-old and 22-year-old season, which takes him into the bubble season, for him to really hit his stride, and he has the unbelievable playoff series against the Utah Jazz. Keyonte, effective field goal percentage, 48, now 51. And Jamal Murray was effective field goal percentage, 48, 53, 50. Then 52, then explodes to 56 and gets hurt. And now he's now a 54, 55, 54, 55 effective field goal percentage. That's truly kind of where Keyonte needs to be. Tyrese Maxey. These are pretty similar though, right? Tyrese Maxey's first year, he plays 61 games, plays 15 minutes a night. At 20 years old, he scores 8 points a game. His second year, he bursts on the scene at 18 points a game, an effective field goal percentage of 55%. Like totally different level, honestly, than Keyonte. In his third year at 22, his effective field goal percentage is 57%. Key's not there yet. Key's at 51%. League average effective field goal percentage, I believe, is sitting at 54% right now, if I'm correct on this. I'm looking at a graph that I built. I think I've updated, and I think it's right. But I believe that's the number. So I do think there's something, 54% is effective field goal percentage. So Key's still below league average, but as a guard, that's kind of understandable. His three-point shooting percentage is 32% right now, working its way up. When he gets this thing back up and his overall field goal percentage is 44, he's much closer. He's still a tick behind both where Jamal Murray were and where Tyrese Maxey. By year two, Jamal Murray's at 53% effective field goal percentage. He slips a little bit in year three. He's never been an all-star, by the way. Tyrese Maxey, by year two, is at 55. The other player that was mentioned was Jalen Johnson, who's just so much bigger that I'm not sure I think it's a great comp. Jalen Johnson is 6'8", and so he just does so much more. But just from an offensive efficiency standpoint, he's always been way more efficient than Keyonte. So the answer is, I think Keyonte has moved from, to make a thesis statement here, Keyonte has moved from borderline NBA rotation player into established NBA player, but I don't know that he's moved into borderline all-star yet. We still got a ways efficiency move to go there. What is his next developmental step? Defense and defensive footwork. I think there's two things on Keyonte that are his next. One is just continued, more efficient. And he's been, his last 5 games, if I pull it up, his last 5 games are far better. He's shooting 49% from the field, 40% from 3, and 87% from 3. His 44% is way up from the 39 overall from 39% last year. So continuing that efficiency. And then I just think time, smarts in time. He's a really smart basketball player. So he'll get better defensively. He'll get better in a lot of things just because he's going to have time out there. How much do you really think we're missing Walker Kessler? Oh, dear God. All right. Let's just go with pure numbers. We're walking toward being the worst defensive team in the NBA. I think we're going to get there eventually. We were pretty good to start the year, and so we're still kind of hovering. But the worst defensive team in the NBA is maybe not. Maybe not. We're going to get there. Is a 125.3 Brooklyn. That's incredible. Washington's at 123. The Clippers are at 123. That's a wow. Wow, was my reaction. I didn't quite realize teams were that bad. We're a 122 without Walker on the floor. So without Walker, we're a 120. Jusuf Nurkic has never been thought of as a defensive player. Here's the scary one. Take Nurk and Walker off the floor. God forbid if Nurk gets hurt. Thank God we traded for Nurk. If Nurk gets hurt, this is going to get ugly. And by the way, probably because Nurk has been pretty solid. He played 76 games 2 years ago. The years before that, 52, 56, 37. So it could happen. When Nurk is off the floor, and Walker's injured. Our defensive rating is a 136. What's crazy is our offense is super good. Our offense is in the 79th percentile as a 120, and we're still minus 16 per 100 possessions. Cray. I just said that. I don't know why, but I did. We're in the first percentile of defense, third percentile in effective field goal percentage. That means 97% of lineups are better. 6th percentile in forcing turnovers, 4th percentile in not fouling. I mean, it's a disaster. When Nurkic leaves the floor and we have to play without a center, it is a complete disaster. When Kyle Filipowski and Kevin Love are on the floor together, which is what we're kind of left with, we don't really have any other choice right now. This is not a criticism. This is more a statement of art. Do we miss Walker Kessler? We're at a 135.7, and the effective field goal percentage of the opponents is 66%. So, yeah, we miss him. Why are we so bad in transition again? People want to know. Seems like a fair question. Let's discuss it next on Locked On Jazz. Friday edition of Locked On Jazz is brought to you by our friends over at Murdoch Hyundai, located 4646 South State Street, also in Logan and in Linden. Good friends over there. We are pretty consistent Hyundai users. I was just driving actually my wife's Genesis, which is the same company basically. But my son, we've got the Ioniq 5. We've got 2 Santa Cruzes. We've been pretty consistent here. For the dollar figure, for the bells and whistles, for the look, to me, it's just the choice. So if you are looking for a Hyundai or a car right now, put Hyundai on the list and then you can decide. But let's get you the VIP treatment you deserve. Going to Linden, going to Murray, or going up to Logan. Email me first at dlock09@gmail.com. That's dlock09@gmail.com so that we can get you the VIP treatment that you deserve for being a Locked On everydayer and get you the setup with a Hyundai. Today's show is also brought to you by DoorDash. The NBA season heating up. DoorDash has found the perfect way to keep fans in their bag all season long, whether you're watching for highlights, your fantasy team, or just your favorite player. DoorDash makes every game and every night even better. DoorDash is the official on-demand delivery platform of the NBA, and they're celebrating with something called the Bag Drop. Every time a NBA player scores 50 points in a game, DoorDash drops $50 off your order with Dash Pass the next day, and you're automatically entered for a chance to win the ultimate fan bag. We're talking player-inspired drip, exclusive gear, stuff you actually want. DoorDash has you covered. Late night highlights, last-minute watch parties, and double OT fuels. So next time someone goes for 50, use the promo code. I bet you it happens tonight. I'll bet you someone goes for 50 tonight. So next time, NBA promo code NBA50, and the next day you'll get 50% off DoorDash with Dash Pass, plus your shot at the bag drop. Dash Pass members only, 50% off, $10 that day after 50-point game with the promo code. Terms apply, no purchase necessary. Ends April 13th. Open to U.S. residents, 21 or older. Visit DoorDashInYourBag.com for full details. DoorDash in your bag all season long. All right, I'm going to do something weird here. My voice is getting scratchy, and I forgot to bring in my water. So we are going to take a 10-second break from the show. There's going to be absolutely nothing on for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Exactly 10 seconds. Told you. Sorry about that. I left everything outside right on the counter out there, and we weren't making it through the show. All right, let's go back to your questions on the Ask LOJ edition. By the way, Jazz, tonight, Kings, if you're coming to the game, we have it so you can listen in the arena. Lag-free. Every game. Tell your friends. Bring your noise-canceling headphones. Stop by Section 7. We'll give you a QR code that you can click into to get the broadcast. No lag, and we don't go to commercial. We hang out and chat with you the whole time. So you get the inner workings of the broadcast. Also, if there's something going on wrong, we'll talk about it. If we see a play, we look at it and we share it with you. It's kind of fun. So make sure you check it out. I was listening to Dunked On, Nate Duncan and Danny LaRue, and they said we were last in transition again. Why are we always last in transition? Nate Duncan, why do you have to reveal our secrets? So you know what? To be honest with you, I did not know that we were last in allowing transition again. That's not good. I'll say that. The one thing I keep kind of saying about all these statistical things is don't be 30th. Like, I don't expect us to be great at stuff, but let's try not to be 30th. I just think, like, you don't want to be 30th in any category. It just means you're deficient in such a significant way. So I did not know that we were allowing the most transition of anyone in the league. What I've always thought's interesting about this, and I'm checking, and by the way, according to Synergy, we're not. We're 5th, and we're working our way there at 20.2, and the 76ers are 20.1. So I'm not sure that we are last. So that's the first one. I didn't actually mean to do that to Nate. Sorry. I literally was looking that up right as we went. But I do think there's some interesting things here. So let's go with this. We don't want to be last in transition again. We've allowed too much transition in the last 2 years. So I have 3 reasons why this could be. One is we pass a lot and we move a lot. And the system we run, there is a chance that by passing and moving as much as our guys do, that our floor is not balanced at the end of possessions. And so therefore we allow more transition. Okay. So that could be one. 2, we do turn it over. I'm just checking something here. So according to Cleaning the Glass, I knew this was going to happen. According to Cleaning the Glass, we are last in transition allowed. We allow 19.4% of our possessions in transition. I do not know how Synergy and Cleaning the Glass count differently. Cleaning the Glass does not chart actual transition. They just do it off time on the box score. And for whatever reason, teams are particularly fast into actions against us. So that might be part of it. They have us at that. They're whatever how they count it, but they do not count it by watching it in person. They count it by watching in by looking at it just on how much time on the box score. So I might take the Synergy as being better. The other question would be if I looked at Second Spectrum and could figure out what their percentage of transitions. So we're now into a silly discussion of whether we are allowing the most transition in the NBA. And according to Second Spectrum, we are not allowing the most. In fact, we're not even close. So 4 different metrics here. We're 16th in the league there. So I don't know the answer. So Cleaning Glass has it off the box score. The one thing I would just say is teams are very quick against us. They use very short possessions against us, both offensively and defensively. 2, because we pass and move so much, we may not have floor balance. I do not think it's because of offensive rebound crashing. In fact, there's more and more correlation. The teams that crash offensively the most are the teams that allow the least amount of transition. What are your thoughts on a Paolo Banchero, Lauri Markkanen swap? Well, it's interesting. I think Orlando has to fail first. And then they have to believe that Franz Wagner is good enough that he's going to take over the offense and carry them with Desmond Bane. They're mismatched. I don't like watching them right now. I will be honest with you on that. Also, this year, I think it'd be hard because Paul is 15 million going to 41. So I actually don't know if salary cap wise you could even do this. But just conceptually, watching Orlando late in games, they're strange to me because Desmond Bane just has the ball in his hands so much. He's like a point guard. And it's just not who he is as a player. So they've got to figure out how they're using their personnel. And then Banchero goes one-on-one and no player leads to anything else out of their players. So I buy the fact that Orlando is kind of mixed match, but I don't think they're going to make this trade. Oh, let's go to our concern table. How concerned should we be about Cody Williams? How concerned should we be about Walter Clayton Jr.? Where's our Taylor Hendricks concern? It's like instead of Thanksgiving table, we're at the concern table here. All right, how concerned should we be about Cody Williams? So I've been doing this thing, and we'll update it again here. We're going to do it after 10, 20, 30, so we're going to do it again here probably next week. where after every 10 games, we rank those 7 guys, and Cody's always been high on my list. This will be the first time he's not. At some point, we have to see flashes that are that of an NBA player. And in year 2, understanding he was awfully young in last year's draft, he was not the youngest player. As I've mentioned at times, I was wrong on that. We need to see some flashes. We're not seeing. I mean, offensively shooting 31% from the field and 11% from 3. He is not finishing at the rim. He has not figured out how to use his explosiveness. He's fine defensively. I'll give you a deep thought think package at some point here that, frankly, all he has to be able to do is shoot 33% from 3. He's a good enough defensive player. He can be a great defensive player. If he could just shoot 33% from 3, it would be great. But I do think we need to see some sort of flash at some point in time. Okay? That's like, he's played very little this year. I'm hoping the G League gets him some confidence. I think it's really smart to have him go down there and play 35 minutes a night again in the G League. He's just not playing very much. He's averaging, 3 minutes a game? 12. So yeah, I think that would be good. How worried am I about Walter Clayton Jr.? I expect him to be a little more NBA ready than he's shown so far. So defensively, I think he's having a harder time athletically. And I've been surprised the off the bounce 3 hasn't gone, because I thought that was going to be his forte. And I think he's just in the doldrums of rookie year right now. I mean, I think if I have it right, he's about one of his last 8 from 3. And one of his last, I think, 10 overall. He got knocked out of the rotation. I think I think there's a progression here. So I'm not concerned. I think there's a natural progression here. The first one is he has to realize he's in the NBA. It's not the NCAA. It's like Trey Burke went through this. Like, you won the national title. Nobody cares anymore. And I don't know that he isn't going through that, but that is the next progression. Like, oh, you just won the national title. Super good. We don't give. That's literally where we are on this. So I think that's the next thing that Walt has to figure out. He's got to get into stuff a little bit faster, I would say. That would be my other kind of comment here, is that he's got to get into things a tiny bit more quickly than he is right now. And I think he'll do all those things. He's a really smart player, and I think he's got a pretty good vibe on how this is all playing out. So I'm not particularly worried about him in any way. I've always wanted to hear your thoughts on why you don't like OKC. I agree, but what's your reason? Similar mark. They fired me. They stole the franchise from Seattle and they fired me. I'm petty and vindictive and don't forget. Right? I mean, they gave me a buyout. Danny Barth is a nice man. Brian Burns is a nice person. But the ownership, the group, they fired me. I'm not going to hide it. I was pro keeping the team in Seattle and they fired me. So, yeah, bitter after 15 years. Most people would get over it, but I'm not most people. I don't sure, great motivating force, best thing that's ever happened in my life. Life's better after getting fired than I ever thought it would be in my entire existence. Greatest example of the Buddhism: you do not know what is good or bad. Impertinence is life. All of those things. Do I forget that they fired me? No. Do I enjoy having a rival and someone to hate? Yes. Does it motivate me inappropriately and incorrectly? And is it wrong thought? And yes. But is it helpful to me? Yes. Okay, there you go. Points gains debuts next, our exclusive offensive metric. And the best players in the NBA are way better than everyone else. Today's show is brought to you in part by FanDuel. FanDuel, giving you the official sports book of the Locked On and the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Jazz, are we favored tonight? I'm going to just check right now. We have not been favored very often this year. Maybe once all season. Didn't think we'd be favored much more than 3 times all year. Let's look. Jazz, Sacramento Kings tonight. Jazz a 2-point favorite. We're favored. Woohoo! 2-point favorite for the Utah Jazz tonight, over under 242.5. You can get into the action at FanDuel.com. Enjoy it, make the game a little bit more fun. And new customers, if you bet $300, if you bet $5 and win, you get $300 in bonus bets. Be a really bad deal if you bet $300 and got $5. You bet $5 on your first bet and you win. You get $300 in bonus bets. Today's show is also brought to you by Intercap Lending. That's Steve Carter. That's the greatest customer service experience I could ever imagine giving you. That is where Steve is just the best. And Intercap has been with us for 7 years. I'm super thankful for the amazing sponsors that we have on this show each and every day. They are absolutely the best. And Steve Carter is as good as any out there. Absolutely adore the way he treats our people. So if you are looking for a loan right now, please send me an email at dlock09@gmail.com so that we can get you set up with Steve Carter and have that experience that is simply unique to Intercap and giving you the best that you could possibly imagine. Today's show is also brought to you by Woodward. Right down the road for me. Absolutely fabulous experience. Hopefully the snow will fall soon. I can see they're making snow when I drive by all the time. And you can be in on all the excitement of all that's taking place at Woodward with their new passes this season are going to be absolutely fabulous for you. Here's the deal. 20 minutes from Salt Lake Valley, Woodward gives you learning in a radically fun, safe environment with facilities for all abilities. The door is always open to first-timers. Mountain Park season passes on sale for $4.99. That's right. You rip laps with the posse after school into the evening, maximize mountain time this winter at one of the best terrain parks in Utah all season long. Looking to go all in? The Access memberships provide just that. Passes to perks, discounts, and more. Starting out, learn to fly with the Woodward Tribe in the seasonal or multi-week programs that build skills and confidence. Just 20 minutes from Salt Lake, Woodward offers experimental learning with facilities for all abilities. The Mountain Park Pass this year is just $4.99. One of the Wasatch best terrain parks. Get the absolute best value for your winter. Guy who cuts my hair will always, he lives in the valley, drives up, takes some runs at Woodward, and then comes up and cuts hair. It's kind of awesome. All access membership, flagship pass products, all at Woodward Park City. Ride, jump, ski, pass every season. It's all at Woodward. Points gained is our own offensive metric. It evaluates two things. It evaluates, one, the efficiency by which someone uses an offensive possession. And two, it looks at the ability to get a shot off. Those are the two biggest offensive things, I think. One, you can be efficient, but if you never shoot, it doesn't matter. And two is your efficiency for possession. Let me remind you that we would never shoot a three if we could dunk every single time. So big guys that can dunk come out very valuable in this, and they are very valuable. You'll be surprised, like, oh, wow, that's why that team's playing so well. Over the years, pretty consistently, the way this has worked is there's been 3 or 4 players. There's about 10 players in their points gained, and points gained is the number of points that you will score as a player over the average player in the NBA with the same amount of possessions. So let's go back a few seasons. 22-23 season. The points gain leader was Nikola Jokic at 4.3, then Kevin Durant at 4.1. So that's on a given night, they score 4 more points than the average player does with the same amount of possessions, scoring opportunities. Every year, there's about 10 players over 2. It's about 3 or 4 players over 3. And in that year, 22-23, Jokic and Durant were the best at 4.3 and 4.1. If you want me to go back, so let's go back just so you have it understanding this. So if we go back to 21-22, Jokic is number 1 at 3.9. Rudy was actually number 2 with us at 3.5. Durant, 3.2. Giannis, 3.2. Jared Allen, 3.1. If I go back to 17-8, what is the Steph Curry broke the bank? The Steph Curry broke the world years of 4.7 in 17-18, I think it was. Yes, 17-18. I'm looking this up as we speak. And Steph Curry in 16-17, let's see, 15-16, Steph Curry was a 5.8 and Durant was a 4.1. Okay, so that's like 5.8 is kind of breaking the bank. Steph Curry was a 4.7 points every night, better than league average. And if we go back, so 21-22, Jokic was 3.9, Durant 3.2, Giannis 3.2. 22, Jokic at 4.3, Durant at 4.1, Embiid at 3.7, Steph at 3.2, Dame at 3.1. And in the 23-24 season, Embiid 3.5, Giannis 3.2, Jokic 2.8, then Shea emerges at 2.6, Daniel Gafford at 2.3. Thank you. In the 24-25 season, it was Jokic at 3.7, Shea at 3.3, Jared Allen, Cleveland was really good, 2.8, Kevin Durant 2.7, Daniel Gafford 2.4 again, Domantas Sabonis 2.2, Jalen Duren, should have seen it coming, at 2.2. Now we're in the 25-26 season, and Nikola Jokic is at 6.0. Nikola Jokic is having a better offensive season than Steph Curry's offensive season when he broke the game. Does everybody have this? Are you hearing me? Nikola Jokic is having a better offensive season at a 6.0 points gained than the year in which Steph Curry broke the year at 5.8. 6.0 for Jokic. He's perfect. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is second at 4.5. There's a 1.5 point difference. And Shai, the next behind Shai is Antetokounmpo at 3.7. Okay, I'm going to try to put this in perspective. Jokic is at 6.0. Shai is at 4.5. Giannis is at 3.7. Jalen Duren is at 3.3. Austin Reeves is at 3.0. There are 4 players that are that are having an offensive impact of more than 3 points a game. And Jokic is at 6. Jokic is having 2 to 3 times bigger impact every single night than the best players in the NBA other than Shai, Giannis, Jalen Duren, and Austin Reeves. Donovan Mitchell is having a monster year. He's the 5th most efficient, productive offensive player at 2.8. And Nikola Jokic is having 2 times the impact he's having every night. Bonkers. Crazy. Here's the rest of the top 10. Jokic at 6.0. Shai at 4.5 points gained every night. Incredible. Giannis at 3.7. Walker was at 3.7, but doesn't qualify. Jalen Duren, 3.3. Austin Reeves, 3.0. Yes, unload for him as of right now. Donovan Mitchell, 2.8. Ryan Kalkbrenner, 2.6. Aaron Gordon, 2.6. Jimmy Butler, 2.6. Steph Curry, 2.6. Ayo Dosunmu, 2.5. Norman Powell, 2.5. Maybe why the Clippers are struggling. Doug McDermott, doesn't qualify. James Harden, 2.5. Incredible at his age. DeAndre Ayton at 2.5. Vic Krejci at 2.1. Tulo Smith, who plays a decent amount for Houston or Detroit, playing like 11 minutes a night every now and then. Harrison Barnes, Zach Edey, Jakob Poeltl, Rui Hachimura, Sam Merrill, and AJ Green are all at 2.0. The most negative offensive player in the NBA this year is Ja Morant at minus 4.0. Caleb Love at minus 3.2. LaMelo Ball at minus 2.9. Derek White at 2.8. Trey Mann at 2.6. Ben Shepherd at 2.6. Trae Young at minus 2.6. Therese Walker minus 2.5. VJ Edgecombe. Not surprising when rookies are here, but worth noting. At minus 2.5. D'Angelo Russell minus 2.2. Cole Anthony minus 2.2. Dennis Schroeder minus 2.2. Klay Thompson minus 2.1. Lonzo Ball. Let's do the Utah Jazz for you. Walker Kessler 3.7. Lowry's 1.4. Isaiah Collier's 0.6. V. Mikhailuk is 0.4. Keyonte is positive at 0.3, which is a big deal for a guard. Kevin Love, 0. Elijah Harkless, minus 0.1. So is Kyle Anderson. Bryce Sensabaugh's minus 0.2. Ace is only minus 0.6, which is good. So is Walt. Kyle Filipowski's a minus 0.7. Taylor Hendricks, minus 1. 0.1. Cody minus 1.7 and Jusuf Nurkic minus 1.8. Let's look at the last 10 games. Jokic is at 7.3. Shea's at 5.9. Joel Embiid's at 5.8. Grayson Allen's at 5.6. I don't think Grayson's played much, though. I think Grayson's been hurt a little bit. Yeah, Embiid's only played 1 game. Grayson's only played 4. Jalen Duren is 3rd. Then Jimmy Butler, De'Aaron Fox, DeAndre Ayton, Vic Krejci, Mark Williams, Steph Curry, Jakob Poeltl. Coldest players in the league right now who are having the biggest negative impact and playing. LaMelo Ball. Where's my metric here? There we go. LaMelo Ball minus 5. VJ Edgecombe, 2nd worst over the last 8 games. Then Ja. Caleb Love, Cole Anthony, Herb Jones, Andrew Wiggins, Brandon Williams, Dallas, Ron Holland, Cody Williams, Ben Shepherd, Draymond Green, Trey Mann, D'Angelo Russell, Jonathan Kuminga, Devin Booker, despite the winning in Phoenix. Utah Jazz, last 10 games. Give me 1 second. I want to see Keyonte here, see where he is. I have not. I look at some of these things with you guys for the first time. Svi Mikhailuk is our most efficient player in the last 10 games at 1.2. Ace Bailey at 1.1. That's super good. Lowry at 1.0. Isaiah Collier at 0.3. Kyle Anderson at 0.3. Kevin Love is at minus 0.1. Kyle Filipowski minus 0.2. Keontae's minus 0.2. Surprising. Bryce minus 0.8. Walt Clayton minus 1. Jusuf Nurkic minus 1.4. Taylor minus 2. And Cody minus 3. That is Locked on Jazz today. That is points gained for the first time all year. Thank you very much for tuning in. Have a great rest of your weekend. Bring your noise-canceling headphones to the game. Stop by our booth at Section 7. And listen to the game. We'll be also there on Sunday and on Monday. Have a great one. See you. We now send you the first ever 24/7 national NBA channel, Locked on NBA. Also check out Locked on NBA Game Night, every game, every night.